he said, daughter. He calls her daughter. And he says, your faith has made you well. That same Jesus that was in those times is here today. Even if we can't see him with these eyes, it's the same one who's saying, I'm still ready, available, loving, not judging. 98% of you guys, because as I speak and I pray for people, I hear, I've been to church, I received Jesus as my Savior, I grew up in church, I know what this is about. So many of you are not ignorant, if you will, of the things of God. You know. But I want to share a story, and it's found in Mark chapter 5. And many have heard about it. And it's about a woman with issues. Who here does not have issues? Because that's easier, right? Everybody has issues. But her issues had to do with an illness that she carried in her body. She had an issue of blood. And in those days, if you didn't have any money, you didn't get medical care. In those days, there was nobody that was going to come and help you out. It just didn't happen. There was no such thing as health insurance, or the city or state was providing, none of that. But when you got sick with something that had to do with blood, and your blood was flowing, especially if you were a woman, you were someone that nobody wanted to be around. No one. Matter of fact, if you walked out your door, people would cringe around you, would call you names. So in a sense, she was an outcast within her own community, within her own family. The money she had, she spent it on doctors over and over again. You know what happened? She got worse. They probably told her, take this potion, take this thing, take this, that. She got worse. It got to the point where she had spent it all. Had nothing. You know what she had? Shame. Because people started talking. I'm telling you, because I know of the traditions of back then. Looking down. Saying, wonder what she did that she deserved that. She hadn't done anything. Nothing at all. She was a woman with an issue of blood, meaning that her disease in her body had to do with blood, and she would flow. The blood would flow. So she had endured much suffering. You know for how long? 12 years. And I guarantee you, the Bible doesn't say it, but I guarantee you that in her quiet place, she was asking, when is this gonna be over? I wonder how many times she says, what's the point? Nobody can help me. Nobody wants me. Maybe she even thought God was angry at her, didn't want anything to do with her, because that was a shameful state for a woman to be in. 12 long years. And then guess what happens? People come around and she starts hearing reports. Reports of what? Of Jesus. Who is Jesus? Who is this man? Do you know that he healed? And they started mentioning the way he was healing folks. They started mentioning how demons would run when he spoke. They started mentioning, hey, he even raises the dead. And you know what? She was in a state where she said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And if somebody can help me, it's this man called Jesus. Yeshua in Hebrew. He was talking about, what can I do? And you know what she did? She stepped out into the crowd. She did not run. She didn't have a choice. She figured, I don't have a choice. I gotta get in there. She probably tried to disguise herself really well. But I'm telling you that when the people saw her, everybody was, ew, get away from me. She didn't care. And there were many people around Jesus. She thinks to herself, if I would just touch the hem of his garment. What does that mean? If I can touch the bottom, some say tassels at the bottom, if I can just touch him a little bit, I'm going to get cured. Because this man, if it's true what I'm hearing, if he does those things for those people, he's going to do it for me. What do I got to lose? She had nothing. Nothing. She had spent all her money. She was again an outcast. She was a person that was frowned upon. She was a person that nobody wanted to be around. And a lot of it, who knows, the Bible doesn't say. But was it fault? Her fault? Maybe not. Amen. This is the woman. She's going in. She starts going into the crowd. She starts getting closer and closer, trying to be real quiet, because she's going to touch the hem of his garment. You know what? Besides the fact that she had an issue of blood, she had that illness on her, and that brought shame. A woman wouldn't touch a man. She couldn't even bump up against him. That was totally against all their traditions. So she's going to go in her state, and she's going to get into the crowd, which she did, and she's going to touch the hem of the garment of a man she doesn't know. What? When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're going to do what you need to do to get well. And this same Jesus that was at that point, at that time, he's standing there. All these people are pressing up against him. He's crowded. His disciples are around him. But all these people want to touch him. And many did. But when that woman touched him secretly, she goes to the hem. Power came out of him. Why? Because she believed. She was desperate enough to say, this is my only choice. I have nothing else. This is my only hope. She didn't talk to him. She just touched him. You know what he does? She gets healed. She felt it. She wanted to run. She wanted to go away quietly. Because, you know, I'm not going to tell people what's happened to me. It's embarrassing what I had. Oh my goodness. Maybe my clothes still either stained by it, or maybe I still smell of it. Not that only, but I touched a man that is not my husband. Wow, that was a big thing, folks. But here goes God, Jesus saying, who touched me? Because he's not going to let anybody get away with that. Who touched me? Here goes the disciples, right? Everybody got to be smart about something. The disciples, one of them, I think it was Peter, he goes, Rabbi, Master, what are you talking about? Who's touching you? Everybody's touching you. Everybody's pressing up against you. Everybody's trying to get something. He said, I know what I'm talking about. Somebody with faith touched me, and the power came out of him. You know what? She couldn't be quiet about it. She had to tell them, I did it. And I wonder if she thought, I'm going to get any repercussions from that. But I've been healed. I touched him. And he looks at her. Do you think Jesus turned her away and said, how dare you touch me? Not at all. He said, daughter. He calls her daughter. And he says, your faith has made you well. That same Jesus that was in those times is here today. Even if we can't see him with these eyes, it's the same one who's saying, I'm still ready, available, loving, not judging. Ready to give you that same healing, that same freedom, that same acceptance, that same love that woman received. That was over 2,000 years ago, and that story's still out. And again, sometimes we don't dare. Well, I've prayed. Well, I've done this. Well, I've done that. Or maybe he's not interested in me. And you know what it is? That we are afraid to take that step. I've met up with many who say, I hope. No, it isn't about hoping. He says, it is yours. And we're going to be here all night. Right, Pastor Lou? We're going to be here all night. If you want to come, we will pray with you. We will talk with you. We can even, there's still some pretzels and waters and some snacks that we have. But we want to tell you that same Jesus, he's done it for us. He's done it for us. My oldest was about to die giving birth. We were praying and praying, and I heard the Lord say, she's coming home. And I remember getting on my face saying, God, not my daughter, not my daughter. She's about to have this baby. This baby needs her mama. And I remember the Lord saying, release her to me. I said, no, because you're going to take her. Says, no, no, release it to me. There's no deals with God. We just got to trust him. And I remember crying, saying, Lord, my daughter, please save her from this. I'm running to the hospital. And the moment I said, God, I got to trust you no matter what happens. I'm going to trust you. And I was afraid. I didn't want him to take my baby. But God is like, just give it to me. Give it to me. Do you know my daughter? The doctors were amazed that she did not pass away. They were ready to just tag her. Everybody was afraid. The baby was healthy. But then God saves her from that death situation. And now she's blind because her retinas became detached from her eyes. They told her, you're not going to be able to see. Guess what mama did? I went back to the Lord. And I said, I will not accept that report. God, I'm trusting you. I want you to heal me. Thank you because you gave her life. Now give her sight back. He says, do you release it to me? Here I go again, right? No, I don't. Oh, fear kicking in. Like I can do something. Hello. And it took me surrendering my child again. One day I walk in. I'm driving to the hospital early in the morning. And the Lord, I hear it in my heart. Praise me, she's healed. This is after days of being before him. And saying, okay, God, I give it to you. I surrender everything. You took her out of death. Before, a minute, 2-3 minutes before I get to the hospital, I get a call from my daughter. Mom, I can see. I can see. I can see. Doctors in that hospital could not believe what had happened there. They would come to me and say, what is going on? Matter of fact, one of them said to me, I wouldn't want to mess with you, Mom. I said, oh, I believe God. He is still in the business of healing. He is still in the business of transforming. He is still in the business of intimacy with people. He don't want a distance between you and him. He doesn't want that. He wants to love on you. Matter of fact, he does. You just don't know it. If you're still walking today, no matter what you're thinking in your heart and your mind, he loves you. And if you grasp that, he is here to make a miracle in your life. Give him your impossibilities. I've done it. I've done it. I've done it. And I've never, ever regretted it. So again, tonight we are here to pray with you and walk with you and talk with you in Jesus' name. God bless.